The first mistake the galaxy made was assuming size mattered. When Earth rolled up to the grand convocation of the Stellar Council with a ship so small it could practically fit into the cargo bay of any respectable cruiser, every alien delegation lost their collective minds in laughter. The ship didn't bristle with weapons. It didn't glimmer with shimmering shields. It wasn't even painted in the dramatic obsidian or blood-red schemes favored by warlike species. No, Earth's first interstellar envoy arrived in something that looked suspiciously like a sleek, oversized teapot with a few antennas bolted on. The ECS Pebble. A pebble indeed. The name alone practically begged mockery. The hall echoed with guttural chortles, buzzing clicks, and the warbling laughter of amphiboid delegates. Some species even had to be resuscitated when they laughed too hard. Ambassador Jonathan Reeves just smiled. A slim man in a neatly pressed navy blue suit, polished shoes, and the kind of calm demeanor usually reserved for butlers or assassins, he stood at the podium with hands folded politely. When the council finally quieted down, Reeves cleared his throat gently. Ladies, gentlemen, and distinguished entities without a concept of gender, on behalf of Earth, I thank you for the warm welcome. It is, truly, heartening to see such unity in laughter. We humans do love a good joke. The sarcasm slid past most of them. But a few species, the clever ones, blinked nervously. They had noticed that Reeves had not once, during the mocking, looked even remotely embarrassed. He was smiling the way a chess master smiles at a board full of pawns. The chairman of the council, a 12-eyed Vorthan named Klex, finally wheezed, "Ambassador, surely you do not expect the council to take Earth seriously with such a toy?" Reeves tilted his head. "Oh, we do insist you take it seriously. Or, at least, take the consequences seriously. After all, toys can be surprisingly educational. Would you like a demonstration?" That sentence, delivered with the politeness of a man offering tea, silenced the chamber. Demonstrations were never good news. Klex tried to recover, all 12 eyes narrowing. "Ambassador Reeves, your species has, what? A single prototype vessel? You stand here among civilizations who build fleets that blanket sectors. Demonstrations are unnecessary." "Unnecessary?" "On the contrary," Reeves said brightly, "they're vital. We brought fireworks, and it would be rude not to share." The council allowed it. They were curious. And curiosity, as humanity well knew, was the deadliest trap of all. The demonstration was scheduled in neutral orbit over Gerion 9, a quiet, barren world used for weapons testing. Dozens of alien dreadnoughts floated in formation to observe. Each one could level continents. Collectively, they could scour entire planets into glass. In the middle of them, tiny and ridiculous, sat the Pebble. Reeves stood on the viewing deck, sipping tea from a porcelain cup, while his ship's captain, Commander Elisa Tran, muttered from the pilot's chair. "They're scanning us again. 4th time in 2 minutes. They're laughing so hard their comm channels are bleeding into ours." "Let them," Reeves said calmly. "Every laugh is another nail in their own coffin. Are we prepared? Target locked. Weapon charged. Safety on. Lovely. Remember, 1 shot only. Any more would be overkill." The comms pinged. The council demanded they begin. Reeves stepped forward, his voice smooth as velvet. "Honored observers, humanity presents the Pebble's primary armament. A prototype, really, though I assure you, it has been field-tested. Target: designated asteroid GX 991. Mass: 2.6 billion metric tons. Location: outer orbit. Do watch closely. Blink, and you may miss it." Aliens scoffed. "A tiny ship firing at a rock? Laughable. Tran pressed a single button. The pebble hummed. A sound like a violin string plucked by the universe itself. For an instant, the hull seemed to drink in the stars. Then, nothing. The aliens burst out laughing again. Nothing had happened. And then, everything happened. GX 991 did not explode. It did not shatter. It did not even burn. Instead, it ceased to exist. One moment, 2.6 billion tons of rock hung in space. The next, it was gone. No fragments. No radiation signature. No gravitational echo. Simply erased, as though the universe had redacted it. The laughter died. Reeves smiled kindly at the horrified delegations. I should clarify. Our weapon doesn't destroy. It deletes. More efficient, wouldn't you agree? For several long seconds, silence reigned. Aliens checked their sensors. They screamed at their science officers. They demanded quantum reconstructions. Nothing. GX 991 was gone from reality itself. And suddenly, the pebble didn't look small anymore. The council panicked. Whispers turned to shouts. Fleets scrambled for readiness drills. Civilizations that had mocked humanity now debated whether to flee, fight, or grovel. Reeves continued sipping his tea. Oh, don't look so worried. We're peaceful. We only fire when we must. Think of it as cosmic pest control. One ambassador shrieked, That's a planet killer. Reeves' smile widened. Planet killer? My dear friend, planets are messy. Too many moving parts, too much collateral. This deletes exactly what we point at. Neater, cleaner, politer. A reptilian general hissed, What prevents you from deleting us all? Reeves set his teacup down gently. Politeness. So long as you don't force us to be impolite. That line spread across the galaxy like wildfire. So long as you don't force us to be impolite. Suddenly, everyone realized, humans were the kind of apex predator that smiled while sharpening the knife. Weeks passed. Tensions mounted. Empires that once scoffed now sent gifts, treaties, desperate offers of friendship. Others plotted in the shadows. Surely, the humans could not build more than one pebble. Surely, they could be cornered, dismantled, humbled. One bold coalition tried. A fleet of 30 warships surrounded the pebble near a neutral gas giant. Their message was simple: surrender the technology, or be destroyed. Reeves received the ultimatum with his usual calm. My dear friends, surrender is such an unpleasant word. We prefer negotiation. Tell you what. Fire upon us, if you wish. We'll fire once in return. Then, if you're still capable of conversation, we'll negotiate terms. They fired. 30 warships unleashed every weapon in their arsenals. Beams, torpedoes, singularity bombs. An apocalypse condensed into 30 seconds. The gas giant's atmosphere boiled. Space lit with fire. When the smoke cleared, the pebble floated serenely, untouched. Reeves' voice, cheerful as ever, crackled through their comms. Delightful fireworks display. Our turn. The pebble fired once. The fleet vanished. Not destroyed. Not debris. Simply gone. 30 ships, their crews, their weapons, deleted like chalk wiped from a blackboard. The galaxy screamed. Now, Earth was no longer mocked. Earth was feared. But fear breeds chaos. Civilizations scrambled, betrayed one another, launched paranoid wars. Old rivalries reignited. What if the humans side with them? What if they delete us next? Reeves played it masterfully. He attended every council meeting in the same calm suit, always polite, always smiling, while entire empires collapsed under the weight of paranoia. He never threatened. He never boasted. He merely reminded them, softly, Earth prefers peace, but we do dislike being laughed at. The irony was delicious. Humanity hadn't fired again. Not once. Yet the galaxy tore itself apart simply from the fear they might. And then came the final twist. At the next grand convocation, as dozens of shaken empires gathered, Reeves finally revealed the truth. He placed a small metal cube on the table. "This," he said pleasantly, "is the Pebble's firing key. Without it, the ship cannot delete anything. Observe." He slid the cube across the table. The delegates recoiled as if it were a live grenade. "Consider it a gift," Reeves continued. "We humans don't need it anymore." A dozen voices shrieked at once. You built more?" Reeves chuckled, the sound warm and terrifying. "My friends, the Pebble was never a warship. It was a prototype, a proof of concept. Earth has moved on. Let's just say we found more efficient ways to keep the galaxy polite." He smiled, stood, adjusted his tie, and left the chamber. Behind him, the galaxy quaked, not from what they had seen, but from what they had not. Because the worst weapon is not the one you fire. It's the one everyone knows you could fire, at any time. And humanity, with perfect politeness, had just become the galaxy's apex predator.